Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics, and I'm here at the Montreal Comiccon with wonderful artist Dan Parent, who is mostly famous for doing Archie, but has done a lot of other things over the years. Hi Dan, thank you for allowing me to talk to you. This year represents a big deal with your character Kevin Keller.
Right.
How proud are you of that accomplishment?
I'm very proud. I'm very proud. Yeah, it's been 15 years now, the creation of Kevin, and he's been a big staple in the Archie universe. So it's been really great, and been very rewarding, and the fan response has always been wonderful with Kevin.
Yes, I've read a few of the stories, and I really like what you've done. In fact, I really like a lot of the Archie stuff you've done over the years. I actually, in Ottawa, bought Archie Meets Kiss off of you.
Oh, yeah.
A few years back.
Yeah, that was fun.
And there was a couple other things that I'd bought. This isn't the first time I've seen you. So can you tell us a little more about what you've got upcoming?
Upcoming, I have, well, I do a lot of variant covers. So I've got a lot of variants coming out. But I've got an Archie Christmas special that's coming up. Working on an Archie Halloween special.
Nice.
Doing a Josie one-shot. And those are all coming out at the end of the year. And then early next year, I will have another book coming out with Tom King. We did a one-shot last year, and I'm going to do another one-shot with Tom King. So that'll be
very
fun.
nice. I know a lot of my fans, people who watch my channel out there, are big fans of Tom King. Do you actually interact with him a lot, or do you just do it over?
Oh yeah, we meet at a lot of shows, a lot of conventions, and that's how we first got together with doing this team up.
Okay.
Archie. So yeah, we're going to do a few one-shots, but the next one will be out early next year.
So this leads me to my next question. How much, I want to say authority, or how much pull do you have at Archie Comics? How much do you get to say, I'm going to do this, and they say, okay?
I'd say they're very receptive to my ideas.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it's always like a slam dunk, but they're very open to my ideas and open to creative suggestions. So usually I have a fair amount of luck when I propose something. I'd say no? pretty good batting average.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to use Archie Meets Kiss as an example. How did that idea begin, and how did it end up being done in fruition?
Well, that began when so John Goldwater, who's the owner of Archie, president of Archie Comics, CEO, he knows Gene Simmons.
Oh,
so
really?
The fact that he knew Gene Simmons made it sort of like a handshake deal,
right?
Which made it a lot easier. There's a lot less red tape when that came about. So that's how that happened. Just kind of they're both friends, and they both thought it'd be a great concept, and before you knew it, there was Archie Meets Kiss.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time today, Dan. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Myself on camera. Hi, everybody. Matt again here at Matt Likes Comics, and I'm here with artist and creator Richard Comley, whose most famous creation right now is making the news all over Comic Land, Captain Canuck. And for many reasons, not as much as these certain things going on these days. I've been a big fan of Captain Canuck since the 70s, since I first saw him. What made you, what inspired you to create the character in the first place?
Well, it really goes back to 1971, 1972. I met Ron Leishman, and he's the one who put the idea into my head. He's a cartoonist. Toonaday.com. That's TOON.
Right.
.com. Anyways, it was him who said there should be a Canadian superhero, and we talked about it for a couple of years. And in about 1973, I started to seriously investigate everything that would be involved in, producing a comic. I hadn't been in comics. I hadn't worked in comics. I was an embroidery designer, and I did portraits, etc. And that's when I started to seriously look at comic books. And I started working on it in '74. And the first issue came out in '75, dated July 1975.
Very nice. I remember reading 5 or 6 of the first volume over the years. Has there ever been? I believe there was a volume 2, but I don't think I've seen much from it.
Version number 2?
A version 2, yes.
Well, the original series, what we call the original series, had 15 issues.
Yeah.
1 to 14 and a summer special.
Yeah, I think I've read 5 to 8.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
So they're out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to remember that back in '75 there was very few comic book stores. There was
Yeah.
just a handful, and it was and it was all mass market distribution. Drugstores, convenience stores. That's
Yeah.
where people bought their comics back then. And of course, they're much less expensive. So distribution was right across Canada and in parts of the United States. And then by issue number 9, I think it was all across North America.
That is
all
cool.
the states. Yeah, all across. Yeah.
Do you do a lot of conventions these days, or is this just because it's a anniversary year?
I don't do. I wouldn't say I do a lot of them. This year, I'm probably doing a few more than I would normally do. We recently moved to British Columbia, and from Ontario, and so yeah. I mean, I don't do a lot of them. I'm getting old, and it's. Friend
of the channel, Lyle Hobson, met you recently. He said in British Columbia. I think it was Kamloops. And,
Okay.
And he sent me quite a few stuff that you had signed there as well. So I have one of the posters already that you've got here that was signed. One of the numbered posters as well. Cool. And he had sent me a few cards you had signed, and so that's why I was. I'm going to look for Richard Comley at the Comic-Con when I saw you were coming here. So.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what's going on with these books here?
Well, back in February, I did this cover art, and it's also a poster. It's a limited signed and numbered poster. So this cover here is the one that got all the attention. Captain Canuck chastising Donald Trump.
Right.
And it literally, the story went around the world. My aunt in England saw it on BBC. I was interviewed by Australian radio, so it was all over the place. And I had no idea it would get that much attention. This has also got a little bit of attention too. This is newer. Now, this artwork was done when they were still buddies.
Right.
So this illustration looks more like he's breaking up a fight, which is what's happening right now.
Exactly.
With these two guys. And then this, of course, is how we Canadians wish things really were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Captain Canuck has become somewhat symbolic to Canadians right now, all because of Donald Trump and his threats.
Well, I want to thank you very much for taking a few moments to speak to me.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm going to buy a couple of books now.
Cool.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics again, and I'm here with artist Sami Francis, an Edmonton, Alberta native who is becoming quite the artist on the circuit. My understanding is you've found work with Archie and the Ninja Turtles.
Yes, that is true. Yes.
Yeah. So what made you decide when you were younger to pursue your artistic goals?
Well, I've always really enjoyed drawings. I started getting into comics probably when I was a teenager, when I started watching shows like Teen Titans and Young Justice.
Nice.
I really got into those and started reading DC in particular. So I got I loved that. Red Robin, loved that. And so, so I'm here now.
That's very nice. For those that don't look at this Teen Titan work on these bags she's selling. It's fantastic. Actually, I think you put some of those on Facebook, I believe, eh?
I think I did, yeah.
Yes, because I was looking at the... For those, by the way, who want to look up Sami Francis online, make sure you put in art, because apparently there's a Sami Francis who's a volleyball player.
That's true, yeah.
Where did you get your education for art?
So I went to school in Vancouver, a school called School Creative.
Okay.
And so I did a year there for animation, and I learned a bunch of skills that I apply today for my covers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So how did you manage to break in? Did they contact you, or did you send work to Archie and that kind of thing?
So I got lucky. Basically, I started out an artist alley, just like
Right.
everybody else. And I went around and showed my work to the professional creators here at the Comic-Cons. And they gave me advice, and I took that feedback, and I went and I practiced, and I made sure that my work was good and up to par. And eventually, I just so happened to run into the right person who looked
Very
at my
nice.
work and saw potential.
That's very nice. So, is this the extent of what you've done so far, or is there a lot more?
Yeah, so this is most of the work that I've done. There's a couple of titles missing from there. Misfit Mercs is not there. And I did some coloring work on a Marvel backs as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So, what future projects have you got coming?
What I have coming is 6 illustrations in a Grimm's fairy tale book by Martin Slam Duncan. So that is what I'm going to be doing. It's Snow White.
Very nice. Snow White is a very
Classic.
it's a classic. My wife loves it. My daughter loves it. My son has said, it's okay. You know. I was looking here in particular. Can we come over here for a second? I was looking in here, and I saw your Batgirl work.
Yes.
Now, I'm a huge fan of Barbara Gordon's.
Yes.
Supergirl is... For those watching the channel, we all know that Supergirl's #1, but I do like Batgirl. And is she a favorite of yours?
Yeah, so these pieces in particular were actually made for Karen Whitfield, who was the the Bronze Age Batgirl.
Okay.
So she did work with Adam West and with Burt Ward.
Nice.
And she traveled with them as their Batgirl. So that's who these prints are for.
That's awesome. Anytime you can get an Adam West reference into an interview, you take it.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Sami, thank you very much for your time today. For those that don't that would like a commission or would like to buy some of your art, what's your website?
So you can find me at samifrancisart.com.
Okay.
And you can also email me at samifrancisart@gmail. So.
Thank you very much. This is Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Thank you.